Good evening and welcome to a special half-hour edition of our newscast ahead of the provincial leaders debate, which gets underway at 6:30. We'll have more on that in a few minutes, but first, a Sunday night shooting has left a Thunder Bay man dead. The fatal incident happened at a residence on Pearl Street just after 10 o'clock last night. A local woman has been charged with murder and several other suspects were arrested earlier today. Vasilios Bellows reports.
City police were dispatched to the 200 block of Pearl Street late Sunday night after receiving a call about a shooting that had occurred. Witnesses reported hearing at least 6 shots fired. Officers arrived to find a 41-year-old city man with critical injuries. The victim was later pronounced dead in hospital and his identity has not yet been released. The investigation led to the arrest of 44-year-old Jamie Osmar of Thunder Bay, who now faces a first-degree murder charge. The crime scene was secured overnight. Then at around noon on Monday, a large number of police officers were sent to the nearby Ambrose Street in connection with the shooting investigation. There, officers entered several residences and detained multiple individuals believed to be connected to the shooting, with charges still pending. Police are calling this a developing situation and are unable to release more details at this time. It is unclear whether there are any more suspects related to the shooting that are currently not in police custody. Vasilios Bellows, TBT News.
A fifth arrest has now been made in connection with the homicide in Westfort last fall. 41-year-old Derek Robert Turner has been charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of 33-year-old Jordan Lapointe. Lapointe's body was found inside his Frederica Street home on October 3rd after first responders were called to a fire and explosion at the residence. City police later confirmed the death was a homicide, and Lapointe's family immediately called for justice in the case. 3 other men aged 19, 20, and 43 were arrested in late October and charged with first-degree murder in the case, while a 22-year-old man was charged with arson. Turner was taken into custody on Saturday on charges of cocaine possession and resisting an officer. Then on Sunday, police added the murder charge to the list of offenses. Turner appeared in court this morning and remains in custody. Meanwhile, a jury trial began today at the Thunder Bay Courthouse for one of the accused in a local murder case dating back nearly 8 years. 26-year-old Jonathan Massicott is pleading not guilty to second-degree murder in the death of 32-year-old William Wapoose. The victim's body was found near a walking trail in Chapels Park in September of 2014. In his opening statement today, Crown Attorney Trevor Jukes told the jury that Wapoose had been beaten and stabbed. The first witness called was the passerby who discovered the body, followed by one of the responding paramedics, and then Detective Constable Rob Miller with Thunder Bay Police. Massicott's trial is scheduled to last 2 weeks. Full details about the testimony can be found at tvnewswatch.com. Tonight, we continue to introduce voters to the provincial election candidates here in our region. This week, we'll meet those running in Thunder Bay Superior North. We begin with Progressive Conservative nominee Peng Yu. Jessa Clement brings us this candidate profile.
Peng Yu has been a member of Thunder Bay City Council for nearly 4 years. And in addition to his council duties, he has served on multiple boards. He says he wants to give back to Thunder Bay Superior North, but being the one to put the riding's key issues and concerns into the provincial agenda.
The community is hardworking, generous, and full of potential. So we need a strong voice at the Queen's Park to get things done. So Doug Ford and Peng Yu can get things done for our region.
Yu says that being a city council member has given him first-hand experience. He says a unique region requires unique solutions and feels he has the skills to help bring the riding forward.
From social issue and to economic developments and to infrastructure, everything. That's why we have to deal with those issues. So it's no other choice. You want to go backward, you want to be stuck, or you want to move forward. Only one choice to move forward is to choose PC.
Yu says that he is committed to building a strong, viable, and prosperous community for Thunder Bay and the North Shore.
We have to take care of each other. We have to work together. We have to make this region, Thunder Bay Shopping North, more prosperity, full of potential. It's not enough. We have to build up, give the tools, resources, and opportunity to our young generation.
Jessica Clement, TVT News.
Well, with the election just over 2 weeks away, voters across the province will get a good look at the four major party leaders in a televised debate tonight. Progressive Conservative leader Doug Ford, the NDP's Andrea Horwath, Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca, and the Greens' Mike Schreiner will face off in the only official debate of the campaign. You can catch the debate at 6:30 right after our newscast on CKPR Thunder Bay and Global Thunder Bay. The election is scheduled for June 2nd. The Thunder Bay District has seen high COVID-19 numbers in recent weeks. Medical Officer of Health Dr. Janet DeMille says it's hard to know exactly how many cases there are due to the limited testing data that's available, but she believes the numbers are starting to plateau. Mitchell Ringos has the details.
In the Thunder Bay District, there were 103 new COVID-19 cases reported since Friday, with 243 cases currently active. Over at Thunder Bay Regional, there were 35 patients with COVID-19 in the hospital on Monday, with 6 patients in the ICU. The overall occupancy rate is 101.5%, while the ICU is 77.3% full. Dr. Janet DeMille says we don't have a complete picture of what's happening in the Thunder Bay area, but we can look at the data we do have to see if things are going up or down. And DeMille believes we may have already peaked.
I think that that's a positive sort of thing to see. Of course, it's maybe too early to make too many big pronouncements about it. But I think just from a timing perspective, I think, sort of thinking we might have peaked last week is really, I think, reasonable. And then hopefully seeing more evidence of a decline in this week as well as in subsequent weeks.
And with the long weekend just around the corner, DeMille says the health unit doesn't want to necessarily restrict activities. She just wants the public to look at their own circumstances and apply the layers of needed protection. And with temperatures rising, DeMille says outdoor activities are the way to go.
The weather is getting much nicer, and it's very safe to be outside. Even if there's COVID around, even if somebody has COVID, there's just such great ventilation being outside. So certainly, gathering together outside is a fairly safe thing.
DeMille says we do still have to be cautious around those who may be more vulnerable to COVID-19. Mitchell Ringos, TVT News.
A large fire has caused significant damage at the Resolute Forest Products sawmill just outside of Ignace. The blaze broke out Sunday morning and led to both kilns at the sawmill being destroyed. Company spokesperson Louis Bouchard describes it as a major fire and the cause is still under investigation. Bouchard says operations are expected to continue with some adjustments required. The company will send lumber to be dried at its mill in Atikokan until the new kilns are set up in Ignace. The sawmill employs about 42 people. Bouchard expects all of them will continue working. Some dramatic video to show you now from the Pickle Lake area. A highway washout over the weekend has left the community without road access in or out.
Look at the end.
A large culvert on Highway 599 at Wiggle Creek was completely washed away by floodwater. It happened sometime between Friday evening and Saturday morning. The highway is the only road to Pickle Lake, meaning its approximately 350 residents can now only leave the community by air until repairs are finished. Pickle Lake Deputy Mayor Kayla Blakeney says it's the third time over the last week or so that the highway has been washed out. Community leadership continues to monitor the situation, but hasn't declared a state of emergency.
Currently, that's not something we're considering today. Obviously, things change. We're lucky enough to not have any municipal roads that have been compromised, so we are quite stable in that sense, and we were able to get some trucks in on Friday just between the two washouts to be able to restock our grocery stores and our gas. So we're in good spirits. We're fine right now.
Repairs began over the weekend, but it's unclear how long it will take to restore road access to Pickle Lake. There's more rain in the forecast for the community in the coming days as well. A collision involving multiple vehicles blocked off a section of the Thunder Bay Expressway at Red River Road earlier today. The left-hand turning lanes heading onto Dawson Road were blocked after the crash, which involved two SUVs and a tractor-trailer. The SUVs both sustained serious damage. One of them flipped onto its side against the transport. Police at the scene confirmed that one person was sent to hospital with minor injuries. The vehicles have been towed and the expressway is now fully open once again. And stay tuned after the break. Corey Nordstrom will join us with all of your sports details right after this.